Welcome to the first chapter of the tutorial for the Guild 2. I will show you how to control the camera and your character and how to use the most important elements of the user interface. You can read each single step of this chapter again in the task book. This can be reached via your journal on the lower right edge of the screen. Pay attention now while I explain to you in simple steps how to operate the camera and move your character. With the camera, you can not only observe the world from up above, but you can also zoom in close on buildings and characters. Hold down the right mouse button to move the camera. Hold down both mouse buttons to rotate the camera freely. And the mouse wheel allows you to zoom in and out. Now move the camera a little to try this out. Well done. Now you know how to control the camera in the Guild 2. Next, I will teach you how to move your character. First, you need to know that you can always select characters and objects with the left mouse button. Now select your character. A left click on the character portrait at the upper right edge of the screen is enough to do this, while double-clicking it will cause the camera to jump to your character. Actually, this also works with buildings and carts. Once you have selected your character, right-clicking on a point in the world is enough to make him walk there. Try it out now and let him walk to the marketplace.
No sweet without sweat. Anything wrong? And now what? What is it?
Well done. If you have selected a building as the goal for a movement, your character will enter the building, unless it is the residence of a competitor. You will find a variety of functions on the edges of the screen. I will explain those that are important right now. Pay close attention, and you will not have any problems in the game. Whenever you have selected a character, a building, or a cart, the portrait and name appear at the upper left edge of the screen. If you have selected a character other than your own, you can tell your dynasty's favor from the expression in the portrait, but more on that later. Hold down the right mouse button over the portrait to display a window with more detailed information. Use this feature now and view the detailed information about your character. A quick glance at the portrait can give you a wealth of information. You will learn to appreciate this during the course of the game. You will find the message bar on the left edge of the screen. Whenever you see a small parchment here, you have received a message. If you move the mouse pointer over the parchment, you will see the title of the message. A single left click will open the message. If you right-click, it will be deleted. Now open the message that has appeared. In the game, if you direct your attention to the lower edge of the screen, you will see the action bar. If you have selected a character, a building, or a cart, you will be shown all the actions that are currently available to you. Now, select your character and click on the inventory icon in the action bar. I will tell you more about the other actions later. As you have seen, your character can wear armor and carry a weapon. In addition, you also have room for other objects, but more on that later. Among the icons on the lower right edge of the screen is one called Important People. Left-clicking on this icon opens a window where you can see an overview of all important people, your family, your friends, and your enemies. You can use this overview to access and interact with any important character easily. Now open the overview and take a look around. For example, if you want to bribe an office holder before an election, you can use this overview if you do not know where that person is to be found. Left-clicking on the globe on the lower right edge of the screen will open the map. With its help, you can not only find your characters, carts, employees, and buildings, but also see where your opponents are staying and where to find sources of raw materials. Now open the map and take a look around. Close it again when you have seen enough. Well done. Now you know how to make the map work for you. Congratulations on completing the first chapter of our tutorial. You have learned the general controls for the camera and your character, and now you know how to use the first elements of the user interface. Welcome to the second chapter of the tutorial for the Guild 2, where I will explain the characters, especially your own character. First, I will explain the character overview. Open this now by clicking on the icon titled Dynasty on the lower right edge of the screen. The character document contains all the data and values that describe your character. The left half of the document is taken from the character portrait and your status. Your character's talents and abilities are in the right half. In the upper right corner of the character portrait, you will find your character's current experience. A character earns experience by carrying out actions. This experience is represented as experience points, abbreviated EP. For example, if your character marries, he or she will earn EP for this event. The more EP a character has collected, the higher the character's level. Among other things, how well a business can be expanded depends on the character's level. After all, a master has to have a certain degree of experience to be able to run a business properly. EP can also be used to improve talents. For example, if you want to increase the talent handicraft by a level, you will have to use EP for it. The level you have achieved will remain unaffected. Depending on your character's class, one talent can be improved at lower EP costs and another for higher. This is shown with the plus and minus signs. Now increase a talent by one level. Well done. Now we come to your character's special abilities. Switch to the tab Abilities for the overview of your abilities. Abilities grant a character advantages over other people. For example, being able to carry more than others, thus earning more experience points for completed actions. You can learn your first ability at the second character level, then another when you reach levels 4, 7, and 10. Now choose a level 2 ability for your character. Well done. Now we will explain your family tree. For this, switch to your dynasty's family tree using the tab Family Tree. The family tree shows all the members of your family. However, the most important function of the family tree is the option of adding a family member to the player group and removing him or her again. To add a family member to the player group, all you have to do is select that person by left-clicking in the family tree and then clicking on the button Add to Group. Do this now by adding your character's wife to the player group. As you can see, your character's wife is now in your player group, and you can control her. Finally, I will familiarize you with the 4 character classes in the Guild 2. 4 representatives of the classes are waiting for you in the marketplace. You will recognize them by the question marks. Send your character to the market. Then select the action Talk to Someone in your character's action bar, and click on one of the waiting people as a target.
Greetings. As a scholar, I raise myself above the riffraff with my great knowledge of Christian teachings and all kinds of other mystic secrets. For while I concern myself with the salvation of my community as a priest, as an alchemist, I brew the most wonderful potions and transform lead into gold.
Qui bono?
Greetings. As a patron, I am responsible for everything dealing with the creation, processing, and final production of foodstuffs. My farm delivers the raw materials that my bakery and my inn use to make delicious food and drink.
Qui bono? Greetings. As a craftswoman, I belong to the hard-working, upright population of any town, above all other character classes. Without my smithy, there would be neither tools nor swords. Without my carpenter's shop, there would be neither walking sticks nor axes. And without my tailor shop, no one would have anything to wear. Qui bono?
Hail and well met. You can trust in me. Or don't you believe I am an honest businesswoman? Oh well. They say that as a thief I break into the wealthy mansions, and that as a robber I lie in wait on the well-travelled trade routes.
Congratulations! You have completed the 2nd chapter of our tutorial. Now you know how the character document works, what experience points are and how they are used, and how to view and use your family tree. You have also learned about the 4 character classes of the Guild 2. Welcome to the 3rd chapter of the tutorial for the Guild 2. Please give me your attention as I explain everything important about buildings. Once you have founded a new family dynasty, your first step is to build a business. To do this, click on the hammer icon on the lower left corner of the screen. This is the complete list, divided into 5 groups of all the buildings that you can build as a player, provided your character has the appropriate character class, the appropriate level, and the appropriate title. Now select the Craftsman tab to see all the buildings that you are allowed to build as a craftsman. In front of you is a list of all the buildings in the Craftsman class. As a 2nd level craftsman, you have a choice of the smithy, the carpenter shop, and the tailor shop, each at the 1st building level. To erect a building, simply click on it. The building list will close, and the building you selected will appear as a ghost object on your mouse pointer. You can move the camera normally in this mode. If the building is colored red, the construction area is unfavorable, and you should find a different place. However, if the building is green, you can build it with a left click. Now build the smithy in the first building level, the foundry. A new building has been finished. Now that you have learned how to construct a new building, I will show you what the residence is all about. Please enter your residence now. First, select it by left-clicking. Now click on Enter Building in your residence action bar. The members of your family live in this house. Here they can sleep in peace because only your family, with the exception of the city guards, of course, can enter your residence. Married characters can do even more than just sleep, but you will have to find that out for yourself. Please open the Building Improvements now. The icon is located in the action bar of your residence. This shows you all the improvements you can add to your residence. You can view the effects of each improvement by holding down the right mouse button over the object. Choose an improvement and apply it by left-clicking. You have seen that various improvements are available. Think well before you decide how to furnish your residence. Please leave your residence now by clicking on. Once you have acquired a higher title later, you can expand your residence to a higher building level. This will unlock more improvements and grant your characters additional actions. We will now look at the businesses. Please enter your smithy by selecting it and then clicking on Enter Building. If the smithy is currently not in your field of view, you can get there by simply double-clicking on the building icon on the right edge of the screen. Welcome to your smithy. This is where, through their hard work, your journeyman smiths increase the wealth of your dynasty. We will tell you in a later chapter how to make your journeymen work. Please open the Building Improvements now. The icon is located in the action bar of your smithy. Just as with your residence, the improvements for the smithy are displayed here. Here too, you can view the effects of each improvement by using the right mouse button. Please choose an improvement and apply it by left-clicking. The improvements for a business are different from those for a residence in some points. Here, you can increase the productivity of your employees, among other things, meaning that they will work faster. The condition of each building is shown as a horizontal bar when you have the building selected. If this condition deteriorates, so does the value of the building. If the condition should sink to 30% or even lower, your building can easily be raided or even conquered by enemy fighters. It is therefore advisable to renovate your buildings on a regular basis. To do this, click on Renovate Building in the Building Actions. If you keep your buildings in good condition at all times, you will have enough time to gather your own fighters when one of your buildings is attacked and start a counter-strike before your enemies manage to break down the door. You do not necessarily have to erect your own buildings. You can also buy them from someone. A building has been renovated. Now click on Purchase Building in the Tailor Shop's action bar. You have bought a building. Congratulations! You have completed the third chapter of our tutorial. In this chapter, you learnt to erect, improve, renovate, or purchase a building. The differences between a residence and a business were also explained.